Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and this is a bit of an unusual video. It's one that I feel I should make given the circumstances, and let me explain why. YouTube is a vast platform. There are over 2 billion people who use it every single month. 2 billion unique people. It is the largest video sharing platform on the internet, and a lot of people use it for not only just entertainment, but several people out there, if they're lucky enough, can turn it into their full-time career. I've been doing it for nearly 5 years, and I do love what I do. It doesn't always go according to plan, but there are moments where it is great. This is actually one of those moments because I have gotten a response video, if you will, from one Jeremy Griggs, otherwise known as Geeks Plus Gamers here on YouTube. And he's a really funny individual to me because this is a guy who loves to throw as much shit at you as he possibly can when you slightly criticize him. And it's not just him. It's not just Jeremy that does this. It's literally the bulk of the people in the Fandom Menace that are YouTube content creators. It's really funny to see. So that's what happened today. I had made a comment. I called him a YouTube idiot because he put out a video asking where are the reviews for Birds of Prey on Rotten Tomatoes. Never mind the fact that there's a review embargo until February 5th. But if, he would have paid attention, maybe he would have known that. Maybe he would have titled the video differently. I don't know. And if anyone asks, oh, did you see the video? Of course not. I was making fun of the headline. I was making fun of the title. Just like this particular video, you guys can make fun of that title. That's the whole point. For a person who does nothing but Insta reactions to just headlines and articles that him and his friends all share together, the slightest bit of criticism, and he loses it. He crumbles. Now, in boxing, there's a term for that. In boxing, it's called having a glass jaw. And to put it in geek format, to put it in geek wording, so to speak, right? Or geek definitions. Let me apply it to this character here. This is Glass Joe from the 1984 NES game Punch-Out. Saying Glass Joe is usually seen as the easiest character to beat in any version of Punch-Out. He has poor defensive skills and he takes quite a while to mount any offense. His lone signature is his taunt punch, in which he takes a few steps back, shakes his gloves and shouts, vive la France, before rushing forward to unleash his right hook, which can easily be counterpunched for an immediate knockdown. And that is Jeremy in a nutshell. Good old glass jaw Jeremy. It really is. Because this is how he operates. This is why I love getting into little tiffs with him. Because every time he is as predictable as the sunrise or the sunset. But today was really funny because he'd been saying for months, I'm not going to make a video on Matt. I'm not going to make a video on Matt. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want anything to do with him. And he said this on a stream with Mad Max one night. The same stream he accused me of running from a conversation with him, never mind the fact that I was not home and my phone was nearly dead, because that's what happens when you stream from mobile devices. It tends to suck down your battery. Couldn't do it. Told him on Twitter, I'd be glad to have a conversation with you on your channel about the subject. We can go toe to toe. Not a problem. Let's set it up. Crickets, nothing. But one slight criticism on YouTube, one slight criticism on Twitter, he loses his mind. He loses his shit. He goes out there and says, I'm trying to cancel Jeremy. If you notice, this has everything to do with his ego. A slight little nudge, a slight little blow, a slight little whiff, and he goes crumbling down. It's funny to watch Glass Jaw Jeremy work because you know exactly what you're going to get. You ever watch one of his videos? You know exactly what you're going to get. And that's another thing too. He's really mad at me because last month he admitted, in a rare moment of clarity, right? A rare moment of honesty, I think, even to his own audience, that he could not spin the success of The Rise of Skywalker. In the first week the film came out, he's like, oh, the numbers are good. There's no way to spin it. So I made a video criticizing that because this is the type of business he operates, where he takes a piece of information and he blows it up with as much hyperbole as his small frame can muster, and he tries to sell you on a character that isn't actually Jeremy, which is why the slightest bit of criticism gets under his skin as much as it does. Why good old Glassjaw Jeremy is not hard to get upset, why he's not hard to trigger. Because if you know exactly what to say to him and how to say it, he gets mad. Now, obviously, Those of you who've been aware of the situation know that he likes to bring up my past drama. 2 years ago, roughly, coming up on that, I got caught having reported people for harassment here on YouTube. I flagged some videos. Not many, only a couple, but I did. And it was the wrong thing to do. I got mad after sustaining months of harassment. I got mad and I acted out of, stupidity. And I can admit that. But you see, Jeremy likes to hold on to that. Jeremy likes to hold on to that and use it as a way to try to discredit any and all criticism I might have levied at him. Kind of funny, isn't it? Where I take criticism, I don't say anything about it. I just move on with my day. Go, all right, fine. Let's, I screwed up. It came out there. I'm just going to keep going forward. But Jeremy, on the other hand, glass jaw, falls right down every time, every single time. And it's not just me. Anyone out there who can lightly criticize him, it just gets under his skin. It's the funniest thing to watch. And it's really a good definition of how the Fandom Menace operates in general. Right. A few months ago, when you had Josh from the Den of Nerds attempt to, he's been creating the gray order, right? His kind of alternative to the Fandom Menace, more of a neutral place. And they tried to run that into the ground. Jeremy tried to run that into the ground as a way to discredit any kind of taking away from the Fandom Menace, because his identity, not just his identity, so many other people, Doomcock, Nerdrotic, John Talks, Drunk 3PO, a lot of these people, their entire identity is wrapped up in this particular organization, if you want to call it that, right? Never mind the fact that Mecha 42, another pro Fandom Menace person, has threatened to sue me and file a restraining order simply because I criticized her for having not watched Black Panther, which she admitted she hadn't seen Black Panther, and that was really about it. But she threatened to sue me. That's light criticism. Kind of like Jeff from World Class Bullshitters released a comic called Stealing Solo that he threatened to sue people who were critical of him by not having completed fulfilled the obligations of his Kickstarter, his perks. There's problems with the comics. People were paying customers, were legitimately upset, threatened to sue one of them for being critical. Are we starting to notice and sense a bit of a pattern here? Whenever the Fandom Menace is criticized, and it's like valid criticism, they circle the wagons. I criticized Mecha Random. That Star Wars girl called me a sexist. Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark still attempts to do it, never mind the fact that I criticized her inability to watch something. That was it. This is what they do. They've become the exact same thing that they hate, right? They've become the exact same thing they set out to destroy 2 years ago. That pendulum has swung back the other direction, and it's funny as hell to watch. Because at this point, they literally only really have this. They do. Glassjaw Jeremy only has his channel. He says he's got a website, and the website does get some people checking it out. Last I saw, there's around 60,000 people using it a month, right? Which is not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. But he says he's got a 40-person team, and it's 200 some thousand subscribers. And you figure there'd be some kind of promotion here or there. Not that I've seen, but I also haven't really looked. And that, again, is a technicality that he could use to argue against me, because I want to talk about the technicalities. When you criticize Glassjaw Jeremy, or you criticize anyone in the Fandom Menace, the biggest problem is that they'll get you on technicalities. They go for gotchas because that is the only defense that they have. It's not even really a defense. It's a quick deflection tactic in hopes that they can change and derail the conversation in order to be able to get the upper hand. It's solid in its design, but once you know what you're looking for, it's easy to kind of steer it back on track. It's not hard to kind of undeflect or redeflect the deflection, so to speak. And this is the tactic that he uses. Jeremy's very open about this. He uses very Trumpian tactics. And if you know how to battle Trump, then it's not hard to beat Trump. Why do you think Trump is scared of Bernie Sanders? Bernie doesn't take any shit. And Bernie is more than willing to go up against Trump in a one-on-one debate. And it's going to scare the crap out of Trump, because what happens when you take a bully who is known for hyperbole and nonsense, and you put somebody who doesn't take their crap? They buckle, they crumble, they fall down like someone with a glass jaw. That's what Jeremy Griggs is. Glassjaw Jeremy is just that type of internet bully. The whole situation, in essence, is really funny, because this is just what they do. They go, like I said, they go for those technicalities. If you are able to criticize them, They will look for anything you have done to throw back at you as a way to discredit your criticism, as he's trying doing to me. Again, no one really cares. And if they can get you in that gotcha, then that's where they'll just hold on to it. Again, knowing how to deflect those tactics makes it really, really, really easy to migrate around those arguments. And as a result of that, they don't actually want to have conversations. This is why the Fandom Menace as a whole has become so massively thin-skinned. It's hysterical to watch. The people that are the leaders in that organization are now literally threatening to sue people who have lightly criticized them or harshly criticized them. Either way, criticize them. They're threatening legal action as a result. Mecha Random tried getting the FBI to come after me. I'm not even kidding you. She absolutely did. This is the type of people that are running this organization. And they hide behind charity work, which is another deflection that they use as a way to try to get around any kind of actual criticism. And if you pay attention long enough, you hear this more often than you think. Well, they don't ever talk about the charity work that we do, because this has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. We're not talking about your charity work. We're talking about a terrible take you had, or a dumb comment you made, or an action that you did that was stupid. None of that has to do with charity. Oh, well, I prop up smaller channels and I give them a platform. You do that, and that's cool. But again, nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Not a single damn thing at all. But it gets used as a deflection because it's the only way to kind of recalculate and redivert the argument. It's just the way it is. It's really funny. It's really, really funny. It's sad at the same time because it kind of keeps any kind of actual conversation from happening. I personally find it funny to poke a little bit of fun at Jeremy because I know he'll buckle like Glass Joe. I know he'll buckle like the glass jaw that he is because that's how he reacts. You get a little bit under his skin and it basically makes him freak out. And that's the funniest thing about this. So at the end of the day, if you are a person out there who loves talking about movies on YouTube, but you're tired of the negativity, you're tired of the Fandom Menace, of which so many of you are, and you want to criticize them, and you want to do it in a way that's going to more or less make them freak out, but realize that it's all bark and no bite, have your receipts, actually criticize them, nothing they can do about it. They'll try. They'll circle the wagons. They'll tweet. All of a sudden, a whole bunch of new accounts that are like a day old start tweeting at you. That's kind of funny. I've noticed that today too. That's kind of funny. And yeah, I wonder where they come from. Really do. Kind of interesting that that always seems to happen. Leave your thoughts. Leave your opinions. I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening out of this one. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to go to bed because I'm tired, and I'll see you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.